$1 billion announcement is designed to increase food security and to also create essential partnerships with local producers to strengthen the food supply chain.
It's about getting more locally grown, more BC produced food on everyone's table because that supports food producers as well as the health and wellness of British Columbians.
Citing a recent series of climate disasters plus the pandemic, the province says this is a critical move due to current global inflation and more economic instability.
We will be improving the resiliency of BC's food supply by investing in further climate preparedness and mitigation work.
We're very excited about it. I mean, it's an important commitment that the provincial government's making in supporting food banks and other hunger relief agencies right now.
As food banks experience record-breaking demand across the country, Food Banks BC says the money is a welcome boost.
The support that we're going to be receiving from the provincial government will only help alleviate some of that strain.
The province calls it unprecedented investment with the hopes of keeping British Columbians fed through times of uncertainty. Julie Nolan, Global News.
And Keith Baldry joins us with more on the province's ongoing spending. Keith, the NDP is making no apologies for spending that surplus.
No, indeed. In fact, that's the subject of debate here for about a week now. What do you do with the surplus? By law, if it's not spent by March 31st, it goes against the provincial debt. You can't take today's money in terms of a surplus and put it against next year's deficit, and counting rules don't allow for that. So the on a line-by-line basis, $500 million for BC Ferries, $1 billion infrastructure fund for municipalities, $150 million for the BC Cancer Foundation. The Liberals are opposing each one of these in a recorded standing vote. The reason they say is basically there's no accountability or minimal scrutiny, not a lot of details associated with the spending of so much money. We're talking about billions of dollars. Premier David Eby asked about that today. He said his take shows the difference in terms of priorities between the opposition and the
I do want to take a moment to reflect on a point of departure, frankly, between us and the opposition about the surplus. We believe that when the province has a $5 billion surplus and people are hurting across the province, that money should be put to work. It's important for British Columbians to know that it matters who is in government. If the BC Liberals were in government, we wouldn't be funding cancer care, we wouldn't be funding Next Generation 911, we wouldn't be doing announcements like this. But I respect it, and that's why we have the debate in the legislature, and that's why we have the vote on these things, so that people know the difference between our two approaches.
Now, again, the BC Liberals say they're not necessarily against what the money's being spent on. It's just there's a complete lack of details associated with that spending, not going through the normal budgeting process. And the spending's not over yet, Jordan. The hot buzz around here is TransLink is due for a pretty big cash injection, again, from this one-time only payment in the current surplus. So look for more spending announcements between now and March 31st.
All right. Keith, thank you. A new link between video games and gambling. What a BC researcher has uncovered about so-called loot boxes and the allegation they're in breach of Canada's criminal code. That's next on the News Hour.
Oh my God.
On Holland America Line, we take the time to get to know you, to play your song, to make your day. You're given the space to feel free, to take it all in and live in the moment, while we tend to every little detail for everywhere you want to go. On our ships, that all adds up to one thing: the time and time again.
I look forward to our future, a cleaner tomorrow, where I can make choices I feel good about, like renewable natural gas. It's low carbon and it comes from landfills, wastewater, and farms. Fortis BC, energy for a better BC.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by the BC Financial Services Authority, helping to protect British Columbians during life's big financial decisions.
Closing BC's gender pay. Employers will be forced by law to be more transparent. Coming up. And why a section of Burnaby Parkland could be turned into an organic waste plant. And the accusations, it's being done under the radar. That's later. Right now, a BC researcher is sounding an alarm about a popular part of video games, which he says could be creating a new generation of gamblers. In a presentation at the BC Lottery Responsible Gaming Conference, he says his findings might be of particular concern for parents. Jasmine Balla reports.
It's Holland! Yes!
A rare drop in this game.
They've redeemed themselves! Thank you, EA!
But to get it, you've got to buy one of these and hope you get lucky.
A loot box is like a mystery box inside a video game. You can win a randomized prize. You don't know what you're going to get.
Taking a chance to win big. It sounds similar to another sort of gaming. And it turns out there is a connection.
Just on their loot box spending, the people who are spending more on loot boxes are more likely to initiate gambling.
New research from UBC shows loot boxes can be a gateway to gambling. The boxes, with countless variations, are present through a lot of big titles.
There's quite a lot of age restrictions around that feature, given that gambling is an age-restricted activity.
Some countries have taken regulatory steps on the issue. Just this week, Austrian court ruled FIFA's loot boxes are a form of gambling. In Canada, a BC law firm has multiple lawsuits against several video game companies, alleging companies who sell loot boxes in their video games are in breach of Canada's criminal code and are operating unlicensed illegal gaming systems. In one case, settlement.
Worlds of video gaming and the world of gambling are moving closer together.
And I'm going to play completely standard, guys.
And you see that in other ways, too. On Twitch, a streaming platform largely used by people playing video games.
And more recently, we see that people have started to broadcast themselves gambling.
It's one of the top categories on the website. And Wu's research shows the people who are watching are mostly young men who are more vulnerable to gambling.
This is concerning, right? Because, when gamblers aren't out there and gambling, they're watching these streams, the cravings that are triggered from these might push them to go and gamble.
The future of gambling and gaming connected in these emerging forms of betting. Jasmine Balla, Global News.
Detox housing delays.
It's vital to have this facility up and running.
BC needs more treatment spaces, so why has one project been stuck behind red tape for 4 years? We go looking for answers coming up. And right after the break, the safe by the tragic death of a cyclist in North Vancouver.
Seaport man is slow going eastbound because of that stall at the bottom of Johnson Hill in the HOV lane. You are going to be tapping on your brakes from United Boulevard, but westbound you are absolutely flying over the bridge, so at least that's good news. Today's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $19 million. Lotto Max, dream to the max. I'm Jerry Mayer Judson in the Global
Redefine your purpose.
I thought you found your purpose with that perfume commercial. Always in my playbook. I'm sorry.
The Best Man, the final chapters. Limited series premieres Thursday, March 16th. Only on W.
There's so much character here.
Think we should get a home inspection?
Oh, yeah.
What's it look like I'm doing? How's this talk, son? You just have to listen. Yep. She's opening up all her little secrets.
Did he bring that cup from home?
You sure did. Do you need a glass? Get a glass.
RE/MAX agents don't dad-splain. They explain with exactly the advice you need during one of life's biggest decisions from Canada's most experienced agents.
Miramichi is the Roll Up to Win capital of Canada, and we're meeting the winners who rolled and won the most last year.
We love Roll Up and we so I think we're going to take it again this year.
I couldn't believe that I won a Volkswagen SUV. I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
I just rolled it up and there was the SUV.
And not to brag, but I've won a few coffees myself.
It's back. Get ready to outwin the Roll Up to Win capital with the new daily $10,000 jackpot plus millions of other prizes.
You going to try to win again?
Gonna try.
Get rolling on the Tim's app for a chance to win.
We all know everything is more expensive right now.
quality of life, to travel or educate our kids.
And it's a great time to have more flexibility. Capital Direct allows you to do that.
Right now, it's more important than ever to plan your cash flows both in and out.
It's nice to know FlexiLine from Capital Direct can help you do that.
Whether you need $80,000, $180,000, or even $1.8 million.
Call us today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to see what's available to you.
CapitalDirect.ca.
Okay, Daryl, can you make the big announcement? Why is Tuesday so important at Save on Foods?
Because customers can take back prices. Look for $1.49 day on select Tuesdays.
You're offering actual $1.49 day deals?
Yes, it's a sale you don't want to miss.
It's a whole new reason to love Tuesdays.
Exactly. Hurry into Save on Foods or check out saveonfoods.com for a sneak peek at $1.49 day deals.
It's time for Big Brother Canada, where every Okay, now I'm ticked off.
911, what's your emergency?
All new 911, Monday at 8 Eastern on Global.
A woman's death yesterday in North Vancouver shows how vulnerable cyclists are on city roads. She was on her bike when she collided with a dump truck at a busy intersection. And as Aaron MacArthur shows us, no matter who is at fault in collision, the cyclist always loses.
Investigators still trying to piece together how a cyclist died Monday in North Vancouver. A dump truck turning right collided with a woman in her 40s at the corner of Lonsdale and 23rd. Now cycling advocates are calling for improved infrastructure at what is known as a dangerous intersection.
We need to do a lot more and a lot faster.
According to Hub, the city of North Vancouver is active in prioritizing transportation options for vulnerable road users, but not quickly enough. Gaps in the system leave cyclists and pedestrians exposed to extra risk. ICBC data suggests there have been 136 collisions of all types at that intersection in the last 5 years. 2 involving vehicles and pedestrians, 1 with a mobility scooter, and 1 with a cyclist. According to the North Vancouver RCMP, collisions between vehicles and cyclists is something they're keeping an eye on.
It is a problem that we see and we recognize, and we're working with our partners to address those issues through different means, whether by engineering or doing enforcement or, just wearing awareness to the public.
The District of North Vancouver is also examining the cause of the collision, in a statement saying, "We have begun our own review to determine if there are additional actions the city could take to enhance the safety of road users in this area."
What we need to do is take the conflict out between a person cycling and a person walking.
Construction along this stretch of Lonsdale has been extensive recently. Tuesday, extra cones and signage placed at the intersection. Lessons learned too late. Aaron MacArthur, Global News.
The overdose public health emergency is accelerating, killing nearly 7 people in BC every day during January. Solutions are elusive, but one thing that everyone the need for more treatment spaces, which makes it so puzzling that construction of a treatment center in Vancouver has been held up by red tape for 4 years and counting. Kristen Robinson investigates.
With literally no signs of a massive detox and social housing complex approved in February 2019 for an entire block of Vancouver's East First Avenue, the few remaining tenants are getting extra time in their city-owned rent.
I'm glad I didn't move out sooner when they were asking us to move out, because I get to stay in a much better place than what they're going to offer later.
The city is partnering with BC Housing and Vancouver Coastal Health on the project touted as the largest of its kind in BC, designed to tackle the twin affordability and addiction crises with nearly 100 affordable rental units and a withdrawal management center.
I think it's going to be huge for people who are seeking support for addiction services. It's vital to have this facility up and running.
More than 11 people have died due to toxic drugs since BC's public health emergency was declared in April 2016. The plan was to start construction here in early 2020, but BC Housing says it's still waiting on building permits. The city says the original building design was submitted based on regulations in the 2014 building bylaw and the project had site challenges, quote. Due to these lengthy delays, the application could not be approved under the 2014 bylaw and required the design to be aligned with the current 2019 bylaw.
We can't go back in time, but I would hope that actively we can take a more thoughtful approach to grandfather in some of these things and really expedite the process, especially in a consideration like this project, which is actually a life-saving intervention for folks who are otherwise dying on our streets.
The City of Vancouver understands how important this project is. We're working through those bylaw changes that were brought in just recently. I do think we're going to get this project up and running under construction this fall.
I'm very optimistic, at least in the sense that, that it will get built. I like to see that process start yesterday.
Which means the countdown is on for this 35-year tenant.
When they get the permits, then you will get your notice to move. That's been going on.
Kristen Robinson, Global News.
Coming up, the big outpouring of help for a dying woman evicted from her home.
I thank you so much. You have no idea how humbling that is for us.
How the community rallied when her landlord appeared to show no mercy. Also, the new rules that could begin to close the gender pay equity gap in BC.
1/3 of Canadian children are at risk of going to school every day on an empty stomach, and being hungry makes it harder for them to learn. That's why Global News is partnering with Toonies for Tummies to provide nutritious meals to children in need in your community. Please donate today.
We have a problem.
FBI International. New episodes return Tuesday, March 14th on Global.
We'll make any hot drink on our menu into a satisfying cold one. Because when you add to your drink, you add to your day.
If I just stare at these payroll forms, my business's payroll will calculate itself, right? Nope.
Intuit QuickBooks helps you keep your payroll accurate.
Cheers.
Stand by. It looks like they don't even have a subscription to this streaming service yet. It might be a while.
I should have gone to the bathroom before the mission.
Don't keep your entertainment waiting. Find it faster with the new Optic TV and get everything you want all in one place for one amazing price. Get live TV and Netflix for just $38 a month.
So,